Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's a Movie Star Monday. Today is Monday. It is April the 22nd. Today is National Earth Day. Happy Earth Day to you.
Yes, it is.
National Girl Scout Leaders Day today. And National Jelly Belly Jelly Bean Day. Those are my favorite jelly beans, by the way.
Are they?
They are. I like
I
those.
just like the regular spice ones.
Yeah, I think they're all good, but Jelly Bellies are darn good. It's a Movie Star Monday. Today we're going to be visiting with actor Corey Tucker. He was in Transformers 3D, Dark Side of the Moon, NCIS, True Blood, many, many, many other things. And he's in a new book by a guy by the name of James Patterson, one of the best-selling authors on the planet. This guy is in the new book called The Chef on Facebook Messenger. Does that all sound weird to you? We're living in the future. James Patterson is putting out a book, or he already has. It's out. But it's almost like a movie now because you can interact with the character, and I'm excited to chat with Mr. Tucker about
Crazy.
this. Yeah, no kidding. Can be chatting with Corey Tucker on today's Movie Star Monday.
The inventor of Rip-It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip-It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip-It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip-It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.net. A survey by Lilo. I don't know who that is. L-E-L-O. Have you ever heard of Lilo?
No.
L-I-L-O is Lilo and Stitch, but this is somebody different apparently. They found that 3 in 10 Americans have not had sexual relations in over a year. 3 in 10 over a year. So I can see that, though. You know, when you think about people in certain age groups where they wouldn't be doing that, that absolutely makes sense. But there you go. A little study from surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.net. Credit cards, they can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They'll help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. Officials have confirmed that a Detroit police officer attended a Michigan State training class with booze in his system. That's too bad. The TV station there says that they had to do an internal investigation. The bottom line is that he showed up to work under the influence of alcohol. This was a Michigan State police training class. He blew a .08.
Yikes.
Certainly, that's a problem. It's a problem for me, and it may be a problem on how it was handled after that, the state police say. It says here that the dude showed up smelling of booze. They analyzed his blood alcohol concentration through a breath sample. During the class, he volunteered to give a sample, and it was determined that he had alcohol in his system. They say that this happened on a weekend, and it's not clear if he was drinking before he came to this or if he was drinking
the night before. No, still in his system.
But either way, you don't do that. It's a bad plan. So there you go. That is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. CBS News staffers said they're a little scared that the network can't afford Gayle King. So they're afraid they can't pay the wages of somebody that they hired. That's not good. Think that, the whole team is worried? Like, oh, boy, I sure hope we can afford her. Do you know who Gayle King is?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, she's
Do you?
News staffer at CBS, of course. Madonna is on the verge of releasing a new album that includes songs by her alter ego, Madame X.
Okay.
So there, I don't know what that is exactly. Ryan
nice
O'Neal.
To know she's still weird.
Yeah. Well, you know what? She made a dang good living being weird,
absolutely,
so that's not a bad thing.
She did.
And then Ryan O'Neal is quietly shopping a portrait of his ex, Farrah Fawcett, for $18 million.
Whoa!
Well, quietly shopping. How did we know about it then? It was a portrait that was taken by Andy Warhol. So here's my question.
Cool.
Is it a photo?
I don't know.
A portrait, to me, sounds like a painting. But it says the portrait was taken by Andy Warhol, not painted by Andy Warhol.
I don't know.
So
Interesting.
$18 million. You got to be a big fan of Farrah Fawcett for that one. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years. In addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends, we had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now your scoop of the day brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. You've heard of the company Mars and Wrigley. They're offering a summer internship program that comes with free candy for a year.
Oh, cool.
What do you think of that? Some people are debating the health merits of this, and others are saying you should pay these people in money, not candy and goodies. But meanwhile, they don't have a lack of people trying to sign up.
I'm sure they don't.
So what are your after-school plans? What are you going to be doing this summer? Going to be an intern? At
Eat
the
candy.
Mars Wrigley headquarters. Going to pretty much eat my way through the summer. That's what I'm going to do. A group of bystanders rescued a blind man who fell onto a subway tracks in Washington, D.C.
Yikes.
just seconds before the train arrived.
That is
I
terrifying.
Actually have a friend in D.C. who's blind. I need to reach out and make sure it wasn't him. How crazy would that be?
Yeah,
It
that would
very
be
easily
awful.
could be. So I'm going to reach out and see if that was him. That is crazy. Tickets for New York City's Tribeca Film Festival are selling. Guess how much these tickets are going for?
How much?
As much as $25,000.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. The Tribeca Film Festival must be really, really, really good. $25,000 for a ticket. I don't know. Scientists in Israel have printed the first ever 3D heart. If you need a heart transplant, now they'll be able to print you a heart, apparently.
Does it work, though? I mean, it's an
apparently,
actual...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else they would be doing
I
it.
don't know.
A group of workers on an oil rig were out in the middle of the ocean, and they found a dog swimming
What?
135 miles offshore in the Gulf of Thailand.
Holy cow.
Some people say the dog was most likely a passenger on a different boat and fell overboard. There's others that said, no, the dog just swam from shore. But I doubt it.
Holy
135
cow.
miles? Nobody knows for sure exactly how the dog got there. They asked the dog, and he didn't respond.
say. But he said the waters are rough.
You know how sad this is? I was going to just say the same thing. That means we've been together. We've been married almost 20 years. Our corny jokes are kind of coming together now. Kind of creepy. A little bit. I don't know if you know this. This was kind of a tightly held secret. Most people don't know this, but in the city of Chicago, there was a little incident there with Jussie Smollett.
Yeah.
And it is
Yes.
You've heard of this?
Yes, I have once or twice.
And did you know that there were two guys that he had hired that were Nigerian brothers?
Yes.
Okay. This is interesting. One of those Nigerian brothers that was involved in the Jussie Smollett attack just won Chicago's Golden Glove boxing tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, he would have made it into the news either way, even if he hadn't been involved in that other thing.
That's interesting.
So, there you go. It's kind of interesting. And then this, I think, is just really a cool story. We're going to spend a moment on this. Tiger Woods, his win at the Masters, is being referred to as the greatest comeback in sports history.
Good
Now,
for him.
I don't know if I have the sports credibility to
agree or disagree with that
because
statement.
We are not sports people. We don't know
Right.
anything about sports, really. But I do think it's really cool that, he went a long, long time without
Yeah, he
winning.
did.
And then his streak is done now because he won. So that's pretty darn cool. But tied in with this, the reason I said we're going to spend a moment on this, there's a couple of other stories that were kind of connected to this. So one of the other stories, where in the world did I put it? I had it here. Here it is. A Wisconsin man, a day trader in Wisconsin, won $1.2 million by betting that Tiger Woods would win the Masters. Apparently,
Whoa.
the odds were not in his favor, and other people were, favored. Well, this guy put some money on the line and said, you know what? I think Tiger's going to do it this year. I don't know what the odds were. I don't know how any of that works. I didn't even know it was legal to bet on such a thing. But this day trader made $1.2 million because Tiger Woods won. That's pretty darn cool.
Cool.
And then one last thing that's kind of tied to this as well. Tiger Woods is going to receive, or maybe already has, I don't know how this works, the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House for winning the Masters last
Nice.
weekend. So there you go. Big week for Tiger Woods. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Movie Star Monday. Today, we're visiting with Corey Tucker from Transformers 3, Dark Side of the Moon, NCIS, True Blood, many others as well. And now he's starring in a new James Patterson book. I'm going to let you think about that for a second. He's starring in a book? Yeah, it's the first of its kind, multimedia, interactive fiction experience available through Facebook Messenger. So you've got Facebook Messenger, and James Patterson teaming up to bring you this first of its kind movie. It's not really a movie, it's a book, but it's kind of a movie as well. Corey, you get to be like the star of this, don't you?
Yeah, actually, I played the lead character, Detective James Rooney.
I think that's really cool. So you're the lead character in a book, but it's also an interactive experience, so it's kind of like being in a movie. What was that like, to get a phone call, and they say, hey, we want you to be in this book from James Patterson, and you're going to be working with Facebook? I mean, this is not a normal phone call to get, is it?
Well, to be quite honest, I actually turned it down.
You did?
Yeah, I just didn't understand. When you audition for things, you get what's called sides, and basically what that is a part of the script that you go in and read for. And I just didn't understand what it was. So I called my agent and I said, I just don't think this is for me. I don't really like it. And my agent was like, I think you should reconsider. It's James Patterson, it's Facebook, and they're asking you to do it. So you should reconsider. So anyway, I went in and I worked with the casting director and had a wonderful day of auditioning and sent everything to James Patterson, and he said, you're our guy. So there you go. That's how it went.
That's really cool.
I'm glad that decision, yeah, for sure.
So are you kind of glad that you decided to do it after all?
Oh, my gosh, yes. It was such a great experience. We shot in New Orleans, which is such a wonderful city, full of amazing people and great food, and the cast and the crew was all really awesome. I mean, it was top-notch. It was one of the better things I've ever done.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty awesome project.
First of its time experience. Facebook came to James Patterson, and they worked out a deal to release this book on Facebook Messenger, part book, part movie. So if you go to Facebook Messenger and type in The Chef by James Patterson, what will happen is you will get an alert, and you can actually interact on Facebook Messenger as you're reading the book. You could ask questions, a bot will respond to you, and then as you go through, the parts of the movie will pop up.
I think that's really cool. And this is the very first of its kind. They call it a multimedia interactive fiction experience. It's got James Patterson, it's got Facebook, it's got our friend here, Corey Tucker. What is it like to be part of that, being the first of its kind?
Oh, it was amazing. Going through the whole process, being asked to be a part of it. James Patterson and Facebook. Of course, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Both very big names and both very well-respected names, too.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun, and I got to meet, Mr. Patterson, and what a pretty amazing guy. Very, very interesting. That guy, how he pops out as many books as he does a year, it's pretty amazing.
Again, our guest today is Corey Tucker. What was it that first got you interested in being an actor, Corey?
To be quite honest with you, I actually had graduated from college and working third shift driving a forklift. And a buddy of mine had asked me to go see his girlfriend in a play at Illinois State University. So I went to the play with him. I quit my job, went back to school, and I started in the theater program at Illinois State University.
That's really cool.
After being in that for a couple of years, I just decided that L.A. and the movies and television is what I wanted to pursue. So I packed up everything that I had in a refrigerator box. I wrapped it with trash bags. I threw it in the back of my truck and drove to Hollywood.
Wow, that's a really cool story right there.
Yeah. I had $500 in my pocket. The very next month, I had to sell my truck in order to pay for my rent. But it's turned out to be the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Again, our guest today is Corey Tucker. He plays the lead role in The Chef, and that is a James Patterson book through Facebook Messenger. It's really a cool idea. You've got some other fun stuff you're working on too, right?
Sure. I just finished working with Reese Witherspoon, which was an amazing experience. She's such a wonderful person and so kind. There's a new TV show called The Morning Show. It's actually Apple TV's very first show, and I got a chance to co-star on that with Reese Witherspoon and work with her, and that was a really great experience for me.
That is really cool. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that, and also other fun projects. Our guest today, Corey Tucker. Corey, when you've got more fun things coming up, please keep us in mind. We'd love to chat again, my friend.
I'd be happy to. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, our guest today has been Corey Tucker, and he is in the new James Patterson book. I know it sounds funny to say that, but it is a new book called The Chef. It's available exclusively through Facebook Messenger. I know that sounds funny, but Facebook plus James Patterson plus Corey Tucker equals pretty darn awesome. We're going to throw a link to all of that information and to all of Corey's information in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The inventor of Rip It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Sir Edmund was the first to climb Mount Everest and return back. Was his name Sir Edmund Hillary, or is that somebody different?
I have no idea.
It just says here Sir Edmund, but Sir Edmund was the first person to climb Mount Everest and return back, which they have that distinction because others climbed Mount Everest
and
they
did not
just
come
didn't
back.
Make it back. So
I don't know. I don't understand
coming back is a good
wanting to do that.
Yeah, it's not on my bucket list. Coming up in a moment, we have more fun stuff. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this Monday. Credit cards, they can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They'll help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Belonophobia. Belonephobia. Belonophobia. What do you think that would be?
Fear of lunch meats?
No, that would be baloneyphobia. But this ain't no baloney, Heidi.
What
It's
is it?
belonophobia. The fear of, say it loud. Anybody? Fear of pins and needles.
Oh.
Yeah, did I have you on
I
pins
never
and
would have
needles?
gotten that.
No, me neither. I don't know where that comes from. Belonophobia. Today's fun with phobias.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years. In addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends, we had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A New York woman who told police that she is deathly afraid of spiders. She crashed her car last Wednesday after spotting one next to her while she was driving.
I could see that. I could see how that happens.
Pull over, though. Don't crash your car.
No, but I mean, if you see it and you, jolt or something, and
the
it makes you lose
54-year-old
control.
She was out running errands, and she panicked when she saw the spider, veered off the road, and crashed into a stone wall.
Yeah, I could see how that could happen.
There's photos online. It's not good.
Yikes.
The car was a total loss. Police say the woman was taken to the hospital by ambulance for a leg injury. They say, we know that it is easier for some drivers than others, but please try to teach new drivers and yourself to overcome a fear and pull over to a
Yeah.
safe place.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. Don't ever crash your car.
I'm sure she just lost
because of
control. I
the
don't think
spider.
she said, there's a spider. I'm going to drive into that wall and kill this spider. She
Yeah.
lost control.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. It's weird news for the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. A Pennsylvania woman who wound up on a local police department's top 10 most wanted list was busted when she started taunting the police on Facebook. Yeah, about her being the one on the lam. Chloe Jones implicated herself when she commented on the wanted post by the sheriff's department. She says, "Do you guys pick up or delivery?" 4 crying, laughing emojis behind that. Then she got into an argument with other commenters on the post, and she claimed that she was in the hospital in a different town. Well, police in West Virginia were able to track her down, and they extradited her back to where she belonged and thanked the citizens and many others for the tips and all that led to her arrest. It is not immediately known what she had originally been wanted for, but she didn't seem too fazed by her arrest. She smiled in her mugshot. So it's like, oh, that's fine. You caught me. Good job. That's today's moment of duh.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these 3 things. Heidi, what do these 3 things have in common? A Model A Ford, it was unveiled. The Holland Tunnel opened. And Charles Lindbergh solo flight across the Atlantic. What do those 3 things have in common?
I don't know.
They all happened in 1927.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who would have known
Yeah.
that?
I
If you
never
knew
would have gotten
that,
that.
congratulations. You are smart. All right, that's going to do it for these 3 things.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of radiotravelgroup.com. And radiotravelgroup.com is a site where you'll go and find a fun trip that we're going to be going on together, this beautiful lady next to me and myself. If you'd like to get all of the details, you can find that at radiotravelgroup.com. You ready for an oldie but a goodie?
Ready.
I think this is kind of a cool story here. And this is from April 5th. This is one that was sent to me a while back, and I hadn't had a chance to read it yet. But a Kentucky toddler beats stage 4 cancer. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
21-month-old Kentucky girl has won the battle against stage 4 cancer after 15 grueling months of cancer treatments.
These stories of kids with cancer, those are the ones that are hardest for me to see. I just hate to see kids sick in any way. It doesn't matter what kind of injury. It's just awful to see.
Well, it's really a cool story. Did we share this already? Maybe we already did share this, because now as I'm looking at the photo here.
We did. We've talked about it before.
See?
But it's great news, and it can be shared again.
I got it shared twice, so I'm going to share it twice. So it says, happy day. Molly has some big news to share. Her scans came back clear. No evidence of the disease. And there's no cancer left in her little body.
Good for her.
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
I remember seeing this little cape, Super Molly.
Yep.
That's where I was like, hey, wait a minute. I think we already did read this one. So that's our good news
we'll
for
share it
today.
again.
If you happen to come across some good news that you think would be nice for me to share once or twice or 3 times, you can submit those right through our website, johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Movie Star Monday.